Hey, Bradley, good afternoon.
Hey, Mariella, nice to see you.
Hey, nice to see you too. So, for those who are watching or listening, today I'm going to go into Bradley's Akashic Records together with Bradley, and we're going to ask some questions and see if we can get some answers today. And just for a little bit of context, Bradley is not a new person to me. I've known Bradley for, we're just talking about a 5.5 years now. We met in
Yeah.
2019 when we were both on our way to a conference. So, we actually met at the airport because we were in the same plane. We actually live quite close to each other.
Yeah.
Um, and this is also not the first time I've been in Bradley's records. The first time was, I want to say, a year ago.
Yeah.
I think
At least. I don't know. Yeah, you can look it up, but yeah.
yeah. So, but I went offline. So I went into Bradley's records, and then afterwards we had a call, and we recorded that call, and that's actually people can find that on my website if they want to see that. And what I'm guessing, so like everybody else, Bradley filled in my intake form. So what I'm guessing, Bradley, is we are continuing the conversation we had back then.
Yeah.
So can you
Yeah.
give a little bit of context? Like, what are you struggling with right now? What's the issue? What's the question that you have?
In one word, it's mathemagician. I can't remember if I said this word to you before, but
No,
I
but I'm
okay.
writing it down.
Okay. It's like mathematician with one letter difference that makes it mathemagician. So there's math and there's magic,
Oh,
right? There's like science and spirituality,
yeah.
or Kairos and Chronos, right? Take your pick. And for me, it's the balance, finding and so more is like habits and structure and brain that's mechanical and engineer and plotter and pantser in the writer's world, right?
Mhm.
Engineer blueprints, structure, all that good stuff. And then there's creativity and art and fun and serendipity. And so I want both of these in my world. 'Cause I used to think I only need the spirituality part. I just want to fly with the angels and be in dreamland, and that's wonderful. And I actually did that for a while, and I realized I wasn't grounded.
Mhm.
And there's like my favorite tree analogy is the deeper the roots, the higher the branches. And I used to only think, oh, I just want the high branches. I just want to be up there in the clouds and playing and having fun and unexpected. It's surprises, and
Mhm.
that's super fun. And it is super fun. And I want that for sure. I'm not saying I don't want that. I want more of that. But the more I fly up in the clouds, the more I realize I need the deeper roots.
Because otherwise you'll topple over.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can only
yeah,
expand upwards so far if you're not deeply rooted.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. So now you're saying that because I'm just looking at some things that I noticed from your intake form that I took note of that I took note of in my notebook. So this, when you say this, you said that one of the things you've been trying because you in your intake form you talk about clarity and
yeah,
more focus. Um,
yeah,
so you said one of the things you've been working on to get there thus far is listening better to, and you call them experts, which I love to begin with, on how to do stuff and not just doing whatever feels right. So is that differentiation for you? Whatever feels right is just I'll just
yeah,
go with the flow and whatever
yeah,
inspiration hits me.
yeah,
And then there is
yes.
okay, but there's also people who are telling me how to do stuff. So is how to do stuff also how to manifest all these things into actual like 3D world?
Yes.
Okay, just as
So from the writer's perspective, Mariella and I know each other. That was a writer's conference.
Mhm.
So in the writer's world, for example, a very concrete example is that in the past, I've just written books that I thought were fun. I'm just going to do it because I've got this fantastic idea. I'm going to write this book. Yay, fun. So that's up here, right? That's having a great time. Oh, this can be a great book. Yay, it's fun. And did I do any of the we're saying like listen to the experts. Did I do any of the market research and the proper this and the structured that and the outlines and all that. Nope, 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 nope. I just had fun and it was great. So in a way, it was a huge success because I did exactly what I wanted to. Yay. But then later on, I think, gee, I'm not selling many copies of that book, right? So this is my structured reality coming in and saying, okay, yay, I succeeded as far as the fun element. And if I just stopped the equation there and said, that book was just for fun, yay, success, then I'm fine.
Good, you're good.
This,
And for some people,
yeah,
that's exactly. Some people create just to create.
yeah,
Awesome. Keep doing your thing.
yeah, exactly, exactly. In fact, I'm a proponent of that. I want you to create just to create,
Yeah.
and ideally be good with it and be happy and say, yay, I did this fun thing. Yay. Whereas, in my humble opinion, most people are kind of the opposite. They're more structured and they're going to outline for 4 years and procrastinate and go into perfectionism and never create anything because they're so rooted and foundationally structured that they can't break through that. And they're still like underground in the roots. They don't even have like a little sprout.
Yeah.
So that balance is, I mean, I'm
How do
kind of
you bring
talking,
those two together?
yeah. And so, yes, for me, but it turns out this is one thing I really enjoy talking about with clients, like author clients or sort of coaching clients in general, is finding that balance and how to sort of make it efficient and effective, like to find your balance. Like I'm way out of balance up here, but maybe somebody else is way too rooted or something and needs a little fun in their lives.
Yeah. So what I find interesting here is that because you've written quite a few
Yeah,
books, right?
yeah,
And for a lot of people, and this is again like coming like we're both from the author world, right? It's almost like it's like there is this like it's like a dualism, right? Like so on the one hand there is I just write my passion, and on the other
yeah,
hand there is I write the market.
yes,
It's like these two will never ever meet in the middle. And I simply do not believe that. I think even when you write your
right,
passions, it's still a very smart part of the process to think, what is my message and who are the people I want to reach with that?
yeah,
And maybe your answer is 100 people max. That's still completely fine. If you have a message
right,
you need to share with the world and these 100 people need to hear it, go do your thing. Right.
yeah.
So I don't think it's either or.
No, I agree.
It's exactly the balance, right? Like how can
Yeah,
you still because and I know you know that all these people that we've seen in Facebook groups like I need money, so I need to write romance because that's like $1 billion industry. How do I write romance? And they're like, I hate it. How do I write romance? Like, well, if
yeah,
you hate the genre, don't bother because your readers are gonna know,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So what's better, well, what would be more productive is to look at, okay, what do I do love to write, to create? And then do I have very successful examples in that genre?
yeah,
What did that author do? What tropes worked in that particular book? Do I appreciate those tropes as well? Because do not sprinkle in tropes that you actually hate, right?
yeah,
Because again, the reader will know, right?
yeah,
They will feel that there is something not right.
yeah,
Um, so it's finding that balance.
yeah,
And again, it
yeah,
has everything to do with your goal because basically what you're saying is if your goal had only been, I'm just going to listen to my muse and I'm just going to completely surrender and I'm just going to have fun with that, then you've A plussed it.
right.
But you're saying something is missing because you actually did notice, I'm not selling a lot of copies of this particular book.
Yeah,
So part of you also wants to find that audience, to hit that audience, to make money. So there
yeah,
is something there.
yeah.
Right.
It-
So yeah. So you
Another option would be I do my fun stuff and follow my muse. And then, oh, oops, I need money. I go work at the bank.
there's plenty of people
right?
like I used that I used to teach like not teach wait I used to coach people who are like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've written so many books and I'm still not um I can still not like quit my day job and become a
Right,
full-time author. And I
right.
was like, okay, well, do you want to become a full-time author?
Yeah,
Nobody ever asked them that.
yeah,
It's just something that being part of that club of people is like
yeah,
this is the goal.
yeah,
Like, okay, so how is your job preventing you from writing? And a lot of them actually had jobs that enabled them the brain space to just, think about their books
yeah,
as they were at the job, right?
yeah,
If you
yeah,
have a job that's incredibly draining or just takes a lot of mental energy, different story, right? But
yeah,
nobody says that you cannot clean like offices after hours,
yeah,
right? On your own, with your music on, just
yeah.
be in the zone. And then you come home and you're right. Nobody says you cannot do that and live an extremely fulfilling life.
And by the way, my answer to the question, do I want to be a full-time author, is no.
No.
And it's a very clear no. I used to want that. And then I
Mm-hmm.
kind of did that for a while. And I realized, like, wow, I don't want to do this full time. I
Mm-hmm.
don't even like doing it full time.
Yeah.
And like money aside, just 100% of my time dedicated to like Bradley, the author. That's not my goal.
No.
My goal is it's like a pie chart. I'm super visual, right? Like pie chart. And I don't know, a third is author, right? There's like speaker and like trainer, no. So it's in there, but that's the thing. It's in there. And also it's one thing. I've written a gazillion books. I know all the stuff. People ask for me for coaching in that world. Sure, I know it all. Well, know it all, whatever. But I'm very experienced in that field.
Yeah.
Uh, but so I'm happy to help people with the knowledge I have.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah,
because I like, because I'm thinking about that, what you put in your intake form, right? And that
yeah,
I know there is a connection, but on the intake form, you said the issue was clarity.
yeah.
So I'm like, is that still the issue, or are we moving towards mathematician, or is that the same thing for you?
I think it's the same thing. And again, visual me, it's like, what does the pie chart look like? The clarity. How much brighter, how much speaker, how much guy that works at the bank. Actually, I can't remember if I told you this, but last year I had a job totally outside the writing world. I was like sort of an office manager for a co-working place. And
You
it
did
was
not tell me, you did
fantastic.
not surprise me.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And then that became like a third piece of pie of my pie. And I
Yeah.
loved it. I'm a bit of a writer, a bit of a speaker, a bit of this guy who works at this co-working place. Cool. So it may sound like I know have my clarity right there. And so, because I hear you on your question, what do I want clarity in?
Yeah. Well, that's not my question. That was your question.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's reinforcement of what I think, how I see it.
Okay. Because I
Because
have,
I seem to change it every day.
yeah. So, because and it's funny because our very first reading was actually a tarot reading, and that was in 2019. And then the two ones came up. So that's focus, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Not a surprise.
Still, it's the card from the Wild Unknown Tarot. So it's like those
Yeah.
two branches, right? Uh,
Yes.
and then last time I was in your records, we had the train, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
on the train, you're going way too fast, you're doing way too many things, and nobody understands what it is you're doing because you're going so
Yeah.
fast that they cannot figure out what your message is.
Yeah.
Because the moment they're like, oh, let me ask about this, you're like three stops ahead, and you're just,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and you're not like
And
chugging along. You're like on the
yeah.
high, like the HS, what's it called, the high speed.
High speed rail. Yeah. And I remember it was so clear the visual. There was like the front of the train where it says the destination
Yeah,
didn't even have that, right? So
it's
people
just
don't even know where I'm going. And
yeah,
then I don't even open the doors at the station. So
yeah. So yeah, we had
like
this
I'm
whole
not
thing.
even right. It was
Like nobody
great. The
was
whole
allowed
train thing.
to come on anymore. So it's like Bradley's
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, I need to stop doing that because I actually want to invite people along on this journey, and maybe I need
Yeah.
to decide where we're going now and then when are we going next.
Yes.
So now, and then you said that you want more clarity, and that reading was also like you have so many ideas, and that's why you just sort
Yeah.
of like go on in this
Yeah.
super fast because you're just chasing after the next one.
Yes.
You said you've managed in the time since our last reading
Yeah.
managed to get down from 300 ideas to 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you said you want to narrow it down to three.
That would be a dream.
Yeah. So does that still, when you say the mathematician, which I love, by the way, is that still that still connect for you?
Yes. I see it again, visual guy. I see it in like different dimensions. I
Hmm.
sort of see the three elements of the pie, call it writer, speaker, something else. And then like another, like that's a, call it the y-axis, and then the x-axis to geek out and go back to high school, like algebra. The y-axis are those things. And then the other axis could be how much of math and how much of magic are part of these three things. So, for example,
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm seeing it. Yeah, yeah.
the third piece of the pie, do I work at the bank? And that's a silly example because if you know me, you know there's no way in hell I would work at the bank.
Mhm.
So that would be a definitely like 100% mathematical job that I would no way be happy in. Except I guess I'd make money, but I would not last because it's just no way. So how do I find the balance in that piece of the pie with the math and the magic? So how can I do something like practical, get paid and stuff, have a salary, have a place to go, whatever, but then there's some fun or spiritual or uh yeah, the magic element of it.
And is there no chance that all parts of your pie have all equal amounts of magic and maths?
Sure. Yeah, I don't, maybe that's part of the clarity I'm looking for. What is that balance? Because I've been too far off the deep end on the spiritual side, doing 10-day silent meditation retreats, 5-day crazy wake up at 4 a.m. Meditation, workshops. And I can go too far out that way, which is super fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Or I can go work hard and I'm very techie guy. I've done tech in the past. It's sort of my easy solution, right? Like I could help you, fix your SMTP servers so that they are coinciding with the right DMARC and blah. Like already you're like blah blah blah.
I already
What?
want to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I actually know that stuff. So that's kind of my mathematical element where I am a techie guy and I actually kind of secretly like tech. And I also like it because I can explain it well, right?
I love that.
So
Why is it a secret?
yeah, well, it's a secret because I don't like doing it because it's not fun and magic and spiritual.
But who
It's
says that?
boring. I don't know. Maybe me. I don't know.
Okay. Just to keep okay. So
Yeah,
I had two options for today.
yeah, yeah.
And again, like for those who are watching and listening, I have these ready because I've known
Okay,
Bradley for a while. So I was like, okay, like I can go two ways with these things. I'm gonna offer both of them to you. And then just see what excites you the most, or
okay.
and I'm curious which part of you it'll excite more than. Okay. So okay, so I'll start with the standard. The what I would usually would do is look into that balance,
Okay.
right? Because I would ask questions like, why are you looking for the balance? How can you achieve that balance?
Mm,
All kinds of those kind of questions. Um, and then potentially invite a future version of yourself to the table and see what the balance looks like then. So like a couple of years from now, or
okay.
and see how you feel about that. Maybe ask them some questions. And that's something we can do.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing is I did a workshop recently on soul purpose with my Akashic Records teacher. She did a separate workshop. And what we got there was like, and I loved it. We talked about soul purpose. We often think that our purpose is like this one thing, or you already understand it's not one thing because you already have
Yeah,
I, right?
yeah.
So and this, I love this, right? Like she taught us the difference between there's a soul purpose, right? Which is like the umbrella, and then there's a soul curriculum under it. Because a purpose can be quite broad. Like it can be like help people understand X. Okay, how do you achieve that? Maybe there is a book you need to write, maybe there is a workshop you need to give, maybe there is a TED talk, maybe there is a retreat, maybe you do one-on-one
Yeah.
coaching. It all falls under the same. But a lot of people who are doing all these different things think that they're doing too many things. And what is the one thing I should be focusing on?
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe it's not one thing. For some people, it is one
I
thing.
like I like this, what you're saying.
Okay, so I have a bunch of questions that will help us download your soul curriculum.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we go through that. There are 9 questions in total because we have the personal level of the soul curriculum. So, what are you here to learn about yourself and to transmute? And then there's the collective. What are you here to teach? What truths are you here to tell?
Oh,
So, we have that, or we have the other option.
I like that one that you just mentioned, the soul uh,
Curriculum.
curriculum.
Because I am wondering whether it will help you, like if you like going through these questions, whether you will get more clarity. Oh, this is what I'm meant to be. This is the message I'm meant to be sharing. And then I'm hoping whether you'll get like, okay, how do I bring that to people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
So yeah, okay.
Because I don't think I know the message, right? Like when you said like again the math in me, I'm like, oh, you mentioned retreats and books and podcasts and YouTube channels. You mentioned this exactly, but
Yeah, but
that's how I sort of see them.
those
And that's like, oh,
options.
mathematical side structure. I'm like, oh, I can. Oh, that's good. And then the other side of me is like, wait, so what is my message? Why am I here? What am I doing?
Well, let's
What am I teaching?
okay, so let's start with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's funny how you say because if you just if you fly along and just like oh, inspiration hits, I do this thing, I do that thing, but you never actually take the time to sort of sort through all these things, which
Mm,
is probably the mathematician in you,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
reflect on how are you going to distill what you actually came here to say.
Yeah.
So if you're like, oh, I actually don't know what I came here to say, maybe we should do this exercise then.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me open your records. And then like I said, I just have questions.
Right.
And like I said before, like you're gonna join me in the record, so you're gonna close your eyes and just, we'll go on this journey together. I'm just gonna ask the questions and then I'm gonna see what you're getting, what I'm getting, and then we're just gonna have a conversation from question to question.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see what clarity we can get from that. Okay. So let me open your records. If I can just get nice. Can't see the screen. Okay, this is great. This is working well for me. Give me a second. Technical issues. Yes, there we go. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I ask you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And now I know for sure, I knew that already, but now I know for sure that you're not the most grounded type in your standing, right? So that's
Uh-huh.
great. Really feel your feet connect to the floor, right? If that's something you're comfortable with, even
Mhm.
imagine roots like growing from the soles of your feet into the earth as deeply as they want to go, so that you're stable and strong, really grounded and centered in your body right now. I ask the highest divine source to surround us in a circle of white light for protection and strength. May Bradley be joined in his intention to expand his soul to remember who he really is and why he is here, as it is written in the Akashic Records. I ask the record keepers at the highest divine level to allow me to open and read the records of Bradley for this purpose. Only the light is welcome here. May be open to receive the most helpful, sacred, and empowering guidance. So it is. And your records are now open. I always want to ask if there's anything. Are you seeing anything? Are you feeling anything?
Yeah,
Tell me if you want to share.
my, I, again, visual guy.
Mm.
The roots are struggling to get into the ground.
Okay.
It's like those like optically documentary movies where they'll show it like it's a high speeded up film. You'll see the clouds go over really quickly, and
Mm.
oh look, here's a flower blossoming. But it's not that. It's slow. It's my roots are like they're hitting. They're getting there, but it's slow and difficult to get the roots. Whereas my almost like monkeys are jumping around on all of the big branches up above. So, but because you asked me to dig my roots in, I'm working on it.
So because when you said that, what I visualize is that um like there's no obstacle moving up, right? But like the way I'm seeing the soil as you say that is that there's all kind of rocks in there,
Yeah,
right? And maybe
yeah,
some other tree, some other stuff,
hmm
right? So it's very
yeah.
old. Oh, okay. We do have a. I was like that immediately makes me want to do ancestral work, but we have a question on family lineage coming up. So
Okay,
let me focus on what we decided to do. Yeah, that is interesting. Okay, so what I can do. Okay, close your eyes for me. So what I want to ask now is I want to ask Bradley's guides, his own guides, and also his record keepers to help him stay grounded and maybe also help the soil become a bit more penetrable so that his roots can sink deeper. Maybe remove some of the obstacles there. Does that help in any way?
yeah,
Okay, a bit more stable.
yeah.
I really felt the bottom of my own feet like activate when I asked that. So, okay.
They, before they were trying to go straight down, and now they're sort of going out a little bit and then coming down. So it's a broader roots base of the roots.
So they're expanding the foundation.
Yeah,
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 yeah, which is good. Um, okay. Okay, so let's start with the first question. Right, and it's like right down deep end, right? We're not taking this slow. We're just gonna just do it. Okay. So the first question is, what am I here to heal and resolve on a personal level? So this is the personal level of the soul curriculum. What am I here to heal and resolve on a personal level? So what is Bradley here to heal and resolve on a personal level? If you get anything, just tell me.
the first word that came to me is healer.
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 Noun.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's there's laughing and lightness,
That okay. I love myself some laughing and lightness in the records.
and not just lightness, like lightness of mind or spirit, but also light, like not dark, bright and light.
So actual light is in contrast to the dark.
Yeah,
Also light as in um yeah, how do I not too serious, not too
yeah,
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 stern, rigid.
yeah,
Okay. So I want to, since that is not a direct answer to the question I want to ask the record,
yeah.
elaborate a little bit on how this answer relates to what Bradley is here to heal and resolve on a personal level.
Oh, the word that came to me is pain. Like,
Pain?
yeah, I don't know where it came from. I'm just trying to be open and let come in what comes in.
Is pain like are you somebody who has like chronic pain or something?
No, not at all.
Okay. So is this physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, mental
Mm,
pain?
mm. I never have a very clear like delineation, separation of emotional, mental, spiritual.
That's good, actually.
So I don't know where this word pain came from.
Okay, let's keep that. Let's keep that. I'm just gonna. I keep having a visual, but I don't know yet what it means. So I'm gonna keep with that, and I'm just gonna see if I understand later on what it's saying. Maybe actually, maybe it'll say something to you. I see a figure, and I see another figure looming over it. So it's like one is actually just normal human size, but the other one is like super sized.
So
And I keep seeing that just the
yeah,
bigger one looming over, but I feel like it's perceived as in a scary way, but it doesn't mean it in a scary way. It doesn't mean it in an intimidating way.
yeah.
That's how it's perceived. That's the image I keep seeing.
But in my daily morning meditations on the good ones, they if I want to connect with anyone or spiritual or not, they reside above me, higher. Especially my dad. My dad, he's always in the same place. He's like right in front of me, up there. It's almost like I'm in a domed area and I'm at this level and he's up there and he says, "Hey, if you want to connect or you want to chat or you want to hang out, I'm not coming down to you. You gotta come up." And then often there's something behind me that's like like a sort of like a cartoon character, but pulling me up by my shoulders, like, "Hey, come on, time to go up. Let's go." Like, oh, okay, okay.
And I do you go up?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because I did get the word like perspective switch. So like that the
Mm,
small figure needs to be the one going seeing it from above instead of
yeah.
from below. So that is okay. So that tracks then. Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Okay. So let's see if we come back to that. Um, so the second question is what am I here to reclaim? What is Bradley here to reclaim? So in this lifetime, in this current incarnation, what are you here to reclaim?
You weren't kidding about jumping into the deep end.
I kid not.
I'm just when I overthink, that's probably not a good thing if I don't think at all and I let in what wants to come in. It's like the sun, like sun.
Yeah, okay.
And again, this like lightness and fireball. And I don't know if that's what I want to reclaim. It's like, am I,
Well, in the tarot, the sun is one of the archetypes, right? So it's a call to radiate your inner light and also to bask in the light. So you have the
mm,
hermit. The hermit is a call to turn inwards so that you can sort of light that inner fire in a way that others can then look at you for guidance because they see your fire, so you can become like their guide, right? In a lot of tarot cards, because all the interpretations are a little bit different. You see them like walk with like a lantern, right? So
Mm,
you can follow. Um, but for me, the sun, so this is a very personal interpretation again. For me, the sun is when you no longer let that inner light be just like inside of your body, right? But just kind of to a more gruesome like visualization, just like rip your chest open and just shine, right?
yeah.
Step into your light, step into your power, step into your own radiation. But also don't be afraid to enjoy other people's light.
Mm,
So I love that you get the
yeah.
sun. Um, and I got this vision of you pulling on a very long line, with like some talking ancestral. No, that's no. I don't know yet if I'm talking ancestral, as in like, the actual family line, or whether this is your past lives. And this is something that you're trying to bring back. I don't know that yet. So let's see. Um, this is kind of like storytelling, right? We're finding the bits and pieces of the story. And okay, next.
When you said line,
Mhm.
I'm like I'm sitting in a boat and I'm pulling up this dark, yucky mass, this big circle blob of I don't know what it is, but a big thing that's dark and that's been under the ocean for a long time, and I'm pulling it up.
So when I said that, that's the immediate vision you got.
Yeah, yeah,
So, so like a ship rope, like the really thick cable,
yeah,
and there's like the green moss and the slime,
yeah,
the yuck,
yeah.
and it's just slippery and okay.
But it's like yucky and there's
Hmm.
something bad. It's not just like moss is kind of pretty in a way. This is like old and dead and the opposite of the sun.
It's like when you leave certain things alone for too long,
Mm,
and this is like in your like personally, like in your current self, but also like in the family, right? It
yeah,
festers.
yeah,
It's that comes. And I just did a Reiki session on someone this morning, and there was a lot of the black, like certain things manifested like energetically in the body is like black sludge that you don't have to
yeah,
pull
yeah.
out of
Black
the body.
sludge. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. So that tends to be energy that doesn't serve anyone anymore.
Yeah,
It also makes me immediately think of stuff that hasn't been talked about through the generations, that's been
yeah,
put aside, has been ignored.
yeah,
Like I said, it starts to fester. Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
really not pretty. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So very light reading thus far. Love it. I told yeah. No, but this is the good stuff. Okay. So the third question is, what am I here to understand at a deeper level? What is Bradley here to understand at a deeper level?
Okay, again, I'm just going with whatever comes. So
That's the way we
the
do it.
boat, okay, the boat is still there for some reason.
Hmm.
And wow. And then under the water is still this black blob of sludge and yuckiness. And somewhere is sort of the sun. It's all very cartoon-like. This big happy ball of fire sun thing. And there's other people in this boat, and I'm like their guide, and they don't understand the big dark black ball or the big sun, and they're waiting for me to, I don't know if it's like explain it to them or somehow I'm like the teacher and they're the students. I can't see them. There's I don't know. It's like a bad, like very childlike drawings of a bunch of people.
Well,
And
I'm
so,
drawing stick figures here as well. So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's about the level of the view of that. Whereas the black sludge is very clear.
Yeah. So are these you cannot see the other people, but you know that they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
they're waiting on me for something.
so do you have any sense of who these people are in relation to you?
My first answer is I don't know them.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that, but let's continue and I'll see how my thoughts develop on that. But it was when I asked the question, what I saw was you pulling the sludge from the water, like and put it in almost, almost like looking for like, is there anything here that's still
Mm,
beautiful? Or like what's underneath
mm,
the right? Like what
yeah.
is it hiding? What is it covering up? That's kind of
Yeah.
I saw you go into like, okay, let's actually do this work and clean it up and see what I can find there. That's what I saw. Um, okay. But I'm curious about these other people, like who they are. So that's who they are. Let's see. Um, so the last question for the personal level of the soul curriculum is what am I here to transmute, either from my past, so this current lifetime past or past lives, or from your family lineage? So what is Bradley here to transmute, either from his past and or his family lineage?
It's the word that comes is voice.
Okay.
That there was quiet and whispers and hush in
Okay.
the past, and I need to not be quiet. I, I don't know what to say, but just not keep it in or not keep it quiet.
Yeah. Okay. Any visuals?
I'm going to an art museum. The styles are so different, and now do you know Japanese wood prints?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that for some reason, and it's very simplified, but still stylish. And it's like a guy on a soapbox is the word. I don't know what a soapbox is, but a box. And there's people in, it's like a long time ago in town square type thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
telling the stories, or it's almost like this. There was this silence, and the visual I'm getting is like just, hey, be quiet. Don't talk about that. Keep that to yourself
Yeah.
in the past. And now it's got to be told.
So are we talking past current lifetime past or are we talking past, past, past?
I think more
Oh,
past
okay.
life,
Okay.
past lives, or
Yeah.
yeah, it's not my life or something. At least that's not what I'm feeling.
Okay. So the person on the soapbox is not you.
No, that could be me,
Okay.
but it's again with the like below and above thing.
Mhm.
It's
It's not your
these,
secret.
yeah, it's this stuff. It's like, well, speaking of feet and roots, it's sort of coming up through my feet, and I'm the loudspeaker. I'm the way that these stories or the past might not, I don't mean stories like a necessarily in a literary sense,
Mhm.
but these
No, I get.
this hushed quietness from the past can be told.
Okay. So there's one thing okay, so there's one thing I want you, if you're up for that,
Yeah.
because when I asked the question, what I saw was you tugging on that rope and like being determined to pull the entire rope into the boat. So if you're up for it, because I don't know,
Yeah.
you don't know what's at the end of the rope. I don't know
No.
what's at the end of the rope. But if you're up for it, I want to invite you to start tugging and see if you can find out what's at the end of the rope.
The word that comes to mind is curiosity. And I think whereas before there was more fear of, and like and disgust, like, oh yuck. But now it's this big ball. It's almost like a World War II. What were those things they like? I didn't even understand how they worked. They floated in the water and they were like anti-submarine, explosion bomb things.
Yeah, they have these spikes. And like
Yeah, this,
it,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
So
So when you say curiosity, you mean now you look at it, it's changed from yuck to being curious.
yeah, yeah. Now I don't know. So for some reason, the fear or disgust has diminished a bit.
Yeah, okay.
I'm curious as to if there's something inside, or is it just like an empty ball of blah? But there is something inside. I don't know what.
Okay. So like, do you want to open it? Can you?
Yeah.
And I just want to remind you, because since we're in the Akashic Records, you are protected and you are surrounded. Um, um, so whatever you do in the records is safe for you to do.
Okay. So the I think I've told you this in the past, but like I see like a movie sometimes, and I'm sort of just watching the movie, and so or the guy standing on the boat, which may or may not be me in some way. I don't know how to open this thing, but now these other people are sort of taking action or coming to life,
Okay.
and they are sort of saying, "Well, we know how to open it."
Oh,
You
that's
know,
thing.
so I lived in San Francisco for many years, and there's this. You take a tour of the Golden Gate Bridge. They have this one exhibit where they show that the cable that you can see that holds up this super big bridge, right, is actually made up. And the cable is like, I can't remember the number, but call it a meter or half a meter in diameter, right? It's a super thick cable. But they're showing you this dissection of it. And actually it's really just made up of smaller cables. And then those smaller cables are made up of even smaller cables. And so it's really at the end, it's like threads almost of metal. But as they're bound together, they are making this stronger cable, then a bigger cable, then a bigger cable. Then you get the big giant cable. So that was a really long backstory. But all these people, because this thing looks unopenable, but all of these people are gathering together and they sort of have their fingers or fingernails almost in this crease in this big circle. And when they are all working together with their fingernails, they can open it.
Okay.
And they're not scared anymore. I guess they're curious too. I don't know if they know what's in it. And they're pulling it apart. There's water in it. So it's open. I guess it's because it's under the ocean. It's turquoise. it's prettier than I thought. There's, the black sludge and yuckiness. That's the outer shell.
Mm-hmm. So is the water inside different than the water around
Yeah,
the bowl?
yeah,
So there's a different kind of water in it.
yeah. It's clear and pretty and sparkly. I can't yet see what's inside. It's just a color I see. It's like another ball of some sort. It's turquoise and another sphere shape.
So it's a ball in the bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, you take it out.
So now the all the other people, they see this, but they're not helping anymore with this. They're like, no, we're done.
Okay.
We did our job. And now there's this turquoise ball that they somehow are telling me I need to deal with. Like, hey, pal, this is your thing now.
Here.
But they're curious. They don't know what it is either.
But can you get it out of the big one?
Yeah, yeah. It's still sort of some like energy around it, or like a. It's not slime because slime is yucky. This is like pulsating, like it's alive or energy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, that was really weird and really fast. But I took this. I picked it up. I took this giant ball, and then I sort of made it really small, like the size of a marble.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put it in my left shirt pocket. I feel like I'm just a messenger. I don't know. I'm just watching the movie. And the people are, they're just like, they're in awe. But my feeling is, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're in awe about. I just took the big ball and made it into a marble, and now it's in my shirt pocket.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
That is actually a great segue into the collective level of the soul curriculum because you said, and I know that feeling, right? People are in awe of what you're doing. You're just like, but I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything special,
Hmm.
right? I'm very familiar with that feeling. So I just because I know you have a call after this, I just want you to come back to this world for a second and check the time
Yeah.
and see if we're okay for time.
Yeah. In half an hour.
Okay, okay. Okay, because now we so let's move to the collective and see
Right.
if we can understand what's next then, right? Why are these people in awe? And you're like, I didn't do anything. Um, okay, so back to the marble in the shirt pocket and the people. On the collective level, the first question is, what am I here to teach others? So what is Bradley here to teach others?
Okay. As usual, just going with the stuff that's coming.
Yes.
It's straight out of like a Hallmark cheesy card, but it's something like, turning the black sludge unknown into the shiny ball of happiness, or I can't even say it without making it snarky. But uh, these people were all scared,
Hmm.
and they helped open the big ugly ball.
But is it turning the black sludgy ball into a cutesy, sparkly little ball of happiness?
Mm,
Or is it finding the cutesy little ball of happiness in the black sludge?
yeah,
That's a question for you.
yeah.
Like, are you transmuting or are you finding happiness, joy,
Mm.
literally in the sludge? Or are you turning the sludge into happiness?
Yeah, no, I think it's finding it in it.
Okay.
It's the turquoise happy ball was inside of the ugly sludgy ball. It was weird. I mean, I clearly couldn't open it for some reason, but they all could. I don't know I'm not even gonna get into meaning of stuff.
Oh,
I'm just seeing my story here.
but I'm getting something.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So people can open the sludgy bowl, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so they can look into their own darkness, their shadows, their negative patterns, their childhood traumas, everything that makes the sludge sludgy. So they can open it. They can see that there's something
Mm,
inside of that that is life giving, that is joyful, that is happiness, that radiates energy, that is the sun. But maybe they do not know how to grab it, take it out of the black
mm.
sludge, and then simply put it in their shirt pocket.
Yeah. And they don't know or they don't dare.
Either or, yeah.
Yeah. And also again, like you mentioned, oh, I did this thing and it's no big deal. And again, because I don't know why I did it, but I made that bigger ball. It was like the size of a beach ball.
Mm-hmm.
Beach ball, turquoise ball, really small marble into the shirt pocket. But I don't. Mm. And I'm kind of thinking, look how easy that is. Just get it.
Well, is it easy for you to do that?
Yeah,
Yeah. And the other people are like, how did you do that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
yeah.
So this is perfect for the second question. What am I here to show others through my behavior? What is Bradley here to show others through his behavior?
Again, the first word is daring.
I love that we're getting loads of like words, right? But that's great.
Yeah.
Great collection of words to have. Yeah. Daring. Okay.
Like the big black ball,
Yeah.
I didn't know at first we were going to bring it into the boat. It just seemed like one of those, oh, I'm just going to keep pulling and I don't know if we'll ever get anything. But then the big sludgy ball came up, and at first we were all scared. I mean, I was scared too. I mean, I don't know what it is. It'd be one of those submarine explosion things. But then, I don't know, we got over the fear, and then curiosity took over. And then I needed their help to get the big sludgy ball open. and they needed my help to find the turquoise ball inside. There's certain they kind of needed my guidance to do all of this stuff.
Mhm.
And again, I'm kind of back to I'm just like a guy on a boat. Like, "Oh, let's pull up this thing. Okay. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a big sludgy ball. Gee, that might explode. Oh, maybe not. It didn't explode yet. Let's open it. Okay, why not? Oh, I can't open it. Can you help?" It's also, yeah, like you said, it seems like it's simple and easy for me,
Mhm.
and they're sort of amazed at this.
Yeah.
I mean, I say this about, but oh, what a wonder! Wow, open the ball. What an idea! This seems so logical.
But so it's logical to you. So it's the math side for you, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but for them, because I think what they're seeing is somebody who decides that his curiosity is worth more, not worth more, but that he's going to listen to his
Mm,
curiosity over his fear,
mm.
which is quite a feat in this day and age.
Yeah,
So I think for a lot of people, seeing that unfold is magical. Like it's almost because I love this because these things, right? These World War II um, bombs, right?
yeah.
They
Bomb,
were like
basically. Yeah,
if you tick them in the if one of those spikes hits anything,
yeah. It
right?
blows up.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, so the initial fear is fine. I think we have fear for a reason, right? But then
Hmm.
okay, it hasn't exploded yet. Okay, what if we what so now I want to know if it's not an immediate threat, I want to know what's inside of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, most people would be like, it's still a threat, so I'm out,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So in the face of danger, showing curiosity. And then of course, like this is a very literal, right? But for a lot of people, when you start doing the shadow work, they're so afraid of what's going to come up once you start pulling on that rope or chain or whatever, it can have
yeah,
different, that they rather not do the work. And especially when it's like, um, when they realize they're keeping a secret, but they cannot remember what the secret is, or they've been keeping the secret for different generations,
yeah,
different lifetimes. So you have no idea what the secret is. And, and the fear of knowing what it is can still keep people from doing the work, right? So
yeah,
then saying, you know what, I choose curiosity over fear. It's not nothing, right?
yeah,
So if that's your
yeah,
behavior, so if you are showing through your behavior that by allowing curiosity to have the wheel instead of fear, that is what daring, that's how you become daring.
yeah.
That's how
I
I'm
see that.
reading that.
Yeah,
That's how I,
yeah.
okay. So a third question for this level, and this comes back, now we're going to the messages. What truths, so plural, am I here to remind others of? What truths is Bradley here to remind others of?
Or we can live our lives based on these fears, or once in a while let curiosity win the battle.
Hmm.
Again with the numbers guy here,
Hmm.
it's almost like, okay, fine. You want to let fear win the battle? Fine. How, are you gonna let fear win all the battles? That's no fun. What about how many are you currently doing? 100 out of 100? Okay. What if, what if you let curiosity, or 10, make it a simpler number, 10, and you're letting fear win out over all 10? What if you just let curiosity win one?
Mhm.
I say battle, I guess it's a battle, but the word that comes to mind is more of a game. That's much more of a curious word than battle. Battle's much more of a fear word. I know you have cats, and um I don't have cats. I have a dog.
Mhm.
But what I like about the cat, well, the part that I think is fun is the whole nine lives thing.
Mhm.
And the thing that came to mind was, with a person, with a cat, you could say, "Oh, you didn't achieve this thing, or you didn't become this type of cat in this life. Well, that's okay. You still have eight more. So maybe that'll happen in the next cat life." And with people, depending on your beliefs, we kind of have one in this form, in this body, in
In the,
this,
yeah, in this, yeah, in this current,
combination.
yeah.
So how many of the fear games are you going to allow to win out over that curiosity? Again, with like the simple number of 10, 9 out of 10. No, I don't recommend, I don't really think I recommend 0 out of 10, because then we're kind of back to the balance.
Yeah.
Here we're talking about fear and curiosity. Well, you kind of see it as, well, the logical thought is it is a World War II bomb. It could explode. But that's the fear and the math, logic and rational thinking.
It's funny
The
how
cure.
how in
Yeah.
that in that moment the fear is the rational.
Yeah.
Usually that's not the case,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go, well, it hasn't exploded yet. And I've been handling it, I've been pulling it up. It could have exploded at any of these moments.
Yeah.
Um, so what if instead of being afraid of it, I dismantle it? Because this is a lot of
Yeah.
people leave it alone.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Let it be buried.
Yeah.
But what you do in this, what we just saw, is like, so you needed help in terms of how do I open it? Well, that could be your guides or, right? Like
Hmm.
you're being guided now. And then, okay, now you see the beauty in it. And then they were like, well, now you're on your own, dude. Like just do whatever you need to do with it, whatever you want to do with that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is, of course, like it does remind me of shadow work, right? That's just bringing it to the light and then seeing, oh, wait, it was never darkness to begin with. Um, and like the blue, the turquoise bowl,
Yeah.
that wasn't dirty.
No.
Just hiding inside something that was yucky.
Yeah.
But it itself was not actually affected by the yuck.
No.
And that for me is such a metaphor of shadow work. That when you bring it into the light, you see, oh, wait, there's nothing dirty about this. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can carry it with me again. It can become part of me again. That's just the metaphor. That's how I saw the metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
looking at the time. So we have two questions left. So I do want to finish it now. And I think after this, you you have need some time to process.
yeah.
Yeah. So the fourth question is, what challenges am I here to help others overcome? So what challenges is Bradley here to help others overcome?
Well, I don't know how influenced I am by what we were just talking about, where we were going. I'm back to daring.
Mm-hmm. If you
You
ever,
know that,
if
yeah.
you ever worried that something
Mhm.
being shown isn't from source or whatever you call it personally, but
Yeah,
is
yeah.
is your ego like getting in the way? You can always ask, is my ego showing me this? Is my ego interfering?
Mm.
Or is this real? And if it's your ego interfering, whatever it's showing, the image will just collapse.
There's something where I don't know why a fingernail, but it's something with the as a group effort, that of being the leader of this group, that they all because they couldn't open. I mean, I couldn't open the black sludge ball, and individually, the people couldn't open the black sludge ball, but
Mhm.
all together, and back with my way too elaborate Golden Gate Bridge cable story there,
There's a
but
Golden
all
Gate Bridge pictures behind you, so I love that.
oh, that must be it. All of their work together, sort of as a team, then it was easy. Like, I don't think anybody even broke a fingernail, but all of them together got that thing open. So could that be groups and working together as a team or a group? Many hands make light work.
Mhm.
But the guidance as well. Hey, let's open this thing up. Oh, look, there's a seam. I can't do it. All of you together can. It's so interesting. They weren't, it sounds very, Tony Robbins has this great title of one of his things. I am not your guru.
I love that title.
It's such a great title because I have a little trouble with that, not with him, but with that, with the story here on the boat and everything. And I think I'm so sort of modest, like, but these people, these students, they're listening, they're waiting on me to kind of tell them what to do. And that's when, like, without words, but I'm like, hey, all of you guys can open the big sludgy ball.
Mm.
I can't do it, but you guys can all do it if you work together. Put your fingernails in the seam, and you can open it. And they didn't question me. It's like, oh, all right, that's what we got to do. Okay, they all did it.
Mhm.
Maybe they trusted me.
Yeah. And I understand your fear because this is how I see, and this is not how everybody has been taught Akashic Records, right? Uh,
Hmm.
but I see it as a tool for empowering.
Mm.
So for me, I mean, my highest goal would be that everyone just, feels comfortable reading their own records and they don't really need me anymore, right?
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
but before that, there's a step that's needed. Somebody needs to be there needs to be someone who sees something for the first time, or that somebody
yeah,
you need the person who introduces someone to something,
yeah,
right? So you need, if you're the first person to get something, you're the one who have to tell people. But once they get it themselves, they can then tell others,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I think the guru, you become a guru when you're like, I am the only one who can do this.
yeah,
And the only
yeah,
pure guidance you can get is from me and my voice, right?
yeah,
But that's about worship.
yeah,
So you want to be put on a pedestal, right?
yeah,
Well, if you keep the focus outward, like, oh, wait, I know
yeah,
this now, I can help people and they can help others. I don't think there's a
yeah,
risk of becoming like this guru type. Because this is what and this is the
yeah,
message, of course, that Tony Robbins, like, you have to be your own guru. But
yeah,
we haven't become our own gurus just sitting in silent meditation. We've read teachers,
yeah,
we've listened to teachers, we've done programs and courses, right?
yeah,
So that's, and now what we know, we pass on to the people that we coach.
So I've run into this many times for many years, and it's the assumption. And my wife's boss always said, "Don't assume," but the assumption that, oh, well, you know everything I know. You've read every book I've read. You've done every workshop I've done. Right? You know how to do this. It's not that hard. And this is like, I don't know if it's modesty or just, I just think maybe because now I understand it and it's simple now.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is easy. Like, yeah, you went to school for 4 years and studied this and worked in that
Hmm.
department for 6 years. And yeah, it's easy for you.
Now
Yeah,
it's easy for you now. It wasn't easy when you
yeah,
started. So people
yeah,
look to you like, okay, you figured this thing out. Can you explain it to me in your own
yeah,
words? And then
yeah,
when they get it, they'll continue explaining it to somebody else in their
yeah,
own words,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, but you forget that you've done the work.
Yeah, often.
Yeah. So people look at that. People, when they see you, they see that,
Yeah,
right? They see, oh, he put this much effort into this.
yeah,
So I can
yeah,
trust what he's
yeah,
saying. And then I can make it my own and add my own things to it. And then I can pass on the message.
yeah,
Yeah. In their own individual ways. Yeah.
yeah. And okay, so this is the word that comes up is love.
Mm-hmm.
Because if because the little I mean turquoise little ball is right near my heart. And if what I'm sharing is love, and that's what I'm sort of teaching and preaching, and that we can get this love, then because love is, if I give you some love, it doesn't take away from me.
No.
You get some, and I still have what I had.
Yeah.
It's just magically multiplies. And even better, you even get some, and then I get even more because I gave you some.
Because I think the loving, like when you don't give love, like, yes, you give love, give,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But I think this is how I experienced that being able to love someone that brings me love. So
yeah,
in the giving of love, your own like heart expands.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there is no giving, there is no, so it doesn't even have to be like mutual,
No,
right? The action of giving love makes you more capable of love, makes you feel
yeah,
love, makes you feel
yeah,
loved,
yeah,
whether it's reciprocated or not.
yeah. Because what I'm really giving is self-love.
Yeah. Or like people's like expanding people's capacity for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. We have one more question. We have 6 minutes.
Okay,
Then you need to be in
okay,
another call.
yeah.
Okay. Last question. This is a bit more altruistic, so I'm curious what's going to come up here.
Okay.
What causes or issues am I meant to contribute to? So, what causes or issues is Bradley meant to contribute to? So, in this current lifetime, in this current incarnation.
So I just let what comes in, and it's like the word that came was like child or childhood or young or youth.
Okay.
Then came a bunch of words, again, love, but also like co- confidence. Maybe like we had that fear, we had curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
We got over the fear, we gave in to the curiosity, we kind of succeeded. And then that gave us a boost of confidence. Like my hope would be that these other people on the boat could think, huh, oh, we just did that whole thing. Maybe I could do that.
This reminds me
Okay.
so much of like those workshops you I don't know if you do them still, like these writing a book workshops, right?
Yeah.
You were guiding these people because you have all this experience of like how do you write, how do you publish your book, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but that wasn't that like the sort of the core purpose is that
Yeah.
you're afraid of doing this. Let's invite in curiosity. Let's do this together.
Hmm.
And then at the end, they have the finished product. And
Yeah.
no matter whether the quality is good or not, right? That was not the purpose. But
Yeah.
at least they will have the confidence now. They understand how the whole process works from like an idea to actually hitting publish on Amazon,
Right.
right? So you start from fear. You're like, okay, well, let's hold each other's hands and let's do it together, right? Let's see where this journey takes us. If we take the leap, and at the end, they've learned something, and now they can go into the world and do it by themselves if they feel
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
So that is empowerment, right?
And they don't need me to do it by themselves
No,
because I helped them once. Like, hey, look, so you got this, right? Okay, gotta go.
yeah. So that to me, like what we just that's just sort of, so this is something that you've done in one of those workshops, this whole journey.
Yeah. So if we come back to 300 to 30 to 3,
Hmm.
no, then this kind of thing is maybe one of the three.
Yeah, because you have
This
speaker,
process.
writer,
Yeah.
and you do coach.
Yeah.
So what if coach is
Yeah. Yeah.
part of that? And your books are the
Yeah.
same. Like your books are very, well, what if I just commit to this thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So very curiosity based and then building confidence through it. Okay. We need
Yeah.
to go. You need to go. So this was a lot.
Yeah.
I just want to know in very quickly what was this like for you to do this together?
This is, I think, the power of doing something together. Because well, very similar to the story, I feel like okay, I could have done this alone,
Yeah.
but it would have taken longer. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, back to confidence and fear and curiosity. I, I, I don't know if I'm curious because I'm too scared because I don't know what I'm doing. And you're the guide, you're guiding me. And together we just go so much further. We go further and faster and deeper. I mean, what else could you want? So this is the beauty of working together, of we're better together thing. So I love it. I'm all for it. And thank you.
Yes. And so like we know each other, so I know you'll keep me posted on how this is
Yeah.
actually gonna land and then what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
But for now, let me close your records.
Okay.
And thank you also for letting me record this and then share this
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
this is the well, I mean, I do trust that the records know what we're doing and what the intent is, so they will not show us things that you do not feel comfortable being in public. So that's something I always trust. But still, I'm like, oh, let's see what happens after we hit record, right? Okay. Close your eyes, please. One more deep breath. With deep gratitude, we thank the record keepers for all the wisdom, for all the healing, and all the information given during this reading. May the healing and wisdom we've received here today continue to help for as long as they are needed. This circle is complete, and your records, Bradley, are now closed. Yes. Done.
Hmm.
Keep me posted. I know you will.
Okay. I will.
You need to go to
Good.
the next call.
Yeah.
Talk soon, okay?
Yes. Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.